Okay, so nagbabalik ang inyong host, Seiji Kasentay, and welcome back ulit sa ating Bura live session streaming. Okay, so ngayong hapon po, okay, balik naman tayo sa basic of sound production. But our topic for today is yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. Okay, and that is mastering and rendering. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we have here 6 discussants. Nandiyan na ba sila? Ayan. Yung iba po ay parang ano yan eh. Nag-snack pa sila. Oh, yan dali lang. Tingnan ko nga, isot ko nga itong ano yan. Hindi ko makita. Ayan. So, tingnan natin kung nandiyan na sila lahat. Okay, so, yung iba po, baka ano yan. Nagpe-prepare pa ng kanilang ano sarili. Okay, anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, time check, it's already 2:04 in the afternoon. So, sasabayan nyo kami ngayong hapon to discuss this final topic po regarding sa ating audio production. And that is about mastering and rendering. Okay? Now, so we have here our discussants. So, pwede na natin sila ngayon ipakilala, ladies and gentlemen. So, galing po sila lahat sa Bachelor of Technology and Livelihood Education Program or BTLED. Okay? Third year students. Okay? So, first we have there Ma'am Maria Angela Madrigallejos. Ma'am, bati ka po.
Hello everyone.
Taga saan si Ma'am?
Taga Pilar Sorsogon po.
Oh, Sorsogon si Ma'am. Okay, so Ma'am, shout out po sa ating mga kababayan there coming from Pilar, Sorsogon. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Maria Angela Madrigallejos. And we also have here Ma'am Jenny Rose Palencia. Ma'am, bati ka po. Ayan, sige, be. Chat-chat na lang tayo, be. Naka-off po ka. Naka-off. Live stream problems. Naka-off yung ano yan, mic mo. Yan, okay, ma'am.
Hello po everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, ma'am, tagasan po sila?
Ligaw po, sir.
Saan sa Ligaw?
Baligang po, sir.
Okay, so shoutout sa mga taga-barangay Baligang, Ligaw City. Okay, thank you very much po, Ma'am Jenny Rose Palencia. Thank you very much, ma'am. And we have here Sir Martiliana. Sir Mike Martiliana, come on, sir, bati po.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir.
Taga-saan nga ka, sir?
Taga Malapay, Pidoran, Albay, sir.
Taga-Pidoran. Okay, so shoutout po sa mga taga Municipality of Pidoran, Albay. Thank you very much, sir. And we have Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza, ma'am. Bati ka po.
Good afternoon to everyone. Shout out sa mga taga-Uwas Albay dyan.
Alright, shoutout po sa mga taga, anong barangay mo, ma'am?
Ilawar Sur, Uwas Albay po, sir.
Okay, shoutout sa mga taga-barangay Ilawar Sur, Uwas Albay. Thank you very much, Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza. And we have Sir Cyrus John Benitez. Sir, bati ka po.
Hello viewers. I am Cyrus John Benitez. So, I am from Pilar, Sorsogon.
Okay, so shoutout ulit sa mga taga Pilar, Sorsogon. Sir, ano yan? Yung mga taga Pilar dyan, matanong ko lang, pwede na ba kami mag-travel dyan? Alam bang, baka may ano yan? May travel pass bang kailangan?
Sir.
Ah? Kailangan pa ng travel pass?
Marami po sir ang ano. Opo.
Gusto ko sana mag-joyride na naman dyan eh.
Gusto ko po sir pumunta dito sir.
Oo, punta. Diretsong ano yan, Sorsogon City.
Sige po sir.
Para ano yan? Nang sawa na permidi sa likod. O makalahap lang ng ano yan, ng hangin. Okay? So anyway, thank you very much, Sir Cyrus John Benitez. And we have Ma'am Riza Rose Anchoquia. Ma'am, bati ka po.
Good afternoon everyone. Shout out po sa mga taga-Buhi, Camarines Sur, and sa lahat po ng live viewers natin.
Alright, thank you very much, ma'am. Shout out sa ating mga viewers coming from Buhi, Camarines Sur. Tama ba, ma'am? Di ba? Madmasala ako, sabihin ko naman Albay. Pagalitan tayo yan eh. Okay, so maraming salamat po, ladies and gentlemen. Sila po ang ating mga discussants. So, sila po yung mag-explain sa atin kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng mastering and rendering, which is one of the most crucial and critical parts of audio production. Okay, thank you very much. Huwag kayong alis mga ka-edu, and we will be right back. Okay, so nagbabalikan yung host si G Kasensay and magandang hapon sa ating mga viewers right now. Titingnan natin kung meron na bang viewers. Wala pang viewers, ladies and gentlemen. Parang wala ba interest sa atin. Well, anyway, so mamaya, babatiin natin ang ating mga masugid na mga tagapagsubaybay sa ating Bura-Bura live stream. Okay? So, di natin patatagalin. And we have here our first discussant. We have Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza. Tama ba? Yes, Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza.
Yes, sir.
To discuss us the audio mastering. Okay, ma'am? Ikaw na po.
So, good afternoon to everyone. I am Mikey R. Zaragoza of BTLED 3 ICT, your discussant for the topic Mastering Audio Levels. So, ay, hindi po yan sa akin, sir, na PowerPoint.
Alin yung sa'yo?
Yung isa po.
Alin? Oo. Hanapin ko. Nasend ba sa akin? Ba't ka nagsabi
Opo,
kanina?
sir. Nakita ko po, sir.
Nasend mo sa akin?
Opo, sir. Nasend ko po sa GC po, sir.
Okay, so titingnan natin. Well, anyway, just introduce ma'am our for the meantime. Okay? Paki-introduce mo ng ating topic. Come on. Habang hinahanap ko.
So in this lesson, we are going to talk about the different types of audio level signal, which are mic, instrument, line, and speaker level signal. So mic, instrument, line, and speaker level signals differ when it comes to their voltage levels. So from the weakest to the strongest voltage level, it goes mic level signal, instrument level signal, line level signal, and then speaker level signal. So the exact level of a signal depends on things like how loud a sound source is. So it makes the most sense to just think about these different signal levels as weaker or stronger than one another. So as opposed to trying to define specific voltage levels for each signal type.
Okay, ma'am, saan mo nga sinend?
GC po, sir.
Saan? Sa GC?
GC
Anong
po.
anong title? Hindi ko mahanap. Anong
Po?
title?
Mastering and rendering po, sir.
Yung kay Mikey?
Opo, sir.
Yung ba yun sa inyo? Ito pala yun.
Yes, sir.
Kala ko yung nandyan eh. Iba ba yun? Iba yun?
Kay Risa Rose po yun, sir.
Kay Ma'am Risa. Okay? Tignan natin. Dapat pala si Risa yung mauna.
Si Risa na lang, sir.
Oo, dapat pala si Risa yung mauna. Kasi sa kanya, to di ka naman
Sunod
nagsabi.
na lang po.
Oo. Anyway, so thank you very much, ma'am.
Sige po, sir.
Okay, so babalikan natin mamaya, ladies and gentlemen, ang ating reporter na nauna bigla. Yeah, miscoordination. Okay, so anyway, thank you very much ulit, Ma'am Mikey. So mamaya kasi medyo advance yung lesson mo. Okay, ito muna tayo, mga kaidok sa audio mastering. And sino yung dito dapat? Si Ma'am?
Risa Rose po.
Okay. So let's go on Ma'am Risa Rose. Ma'am? Okay. Ikaw sa'yo pala to, hindi ka
Good afternoon
nag-iimik.
po, everyone.
Ibig sabihin nag-iimik, sa'yo pala ka ni PowerPoint. Okay, sige ma'am. Pagpatuloy mo na to. Okay. Okay, let's start ma'am. Naman, putol-putol na. Mawawala naman si ma'am. Ayan. So, medyo nawawala po si ma'am. So, anyway. So, tutulungan ko si ma'am. Kayo mag-discuss na ito. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, sa mga viewers natin, okay, ang audio mastering po isa sa mga crucial parts ng audio production. Okay? So, nakabalik na si ma'am.
Okay.
Kaya na, ma'am? Medyo nawawala ang ating discussant. Okay.
Okay. So let us first.
Mabagal. Sige lang, ma'am. Okay, ikaw na po.
Okay po. Let us first define what is audio mastering.
So audio mastering po is the final stage of audio production, the process of putting the finishing touches on a song by enhancing the overall sound, creating consistency across the album, and preparing it for distribution. So yung audio mastering po, ito na po yung pinaka final touch ng isang kanta. In a way of enhancing the overall quality of the sound in a song. So kapag nag-produce po tayo ng isang kanta is dapat magiging maganda sa pandinig natin yung kanta. So hearing it clearly and the overall balance of the tone is has a balance properly. And also it is very consistent. So yun po yung audio mastering.
Pa-screenshot nyo na si ma'am. Sige na ma'am, diretso po.
Okay na po, sir. Hindi ko po nakikita. Okay po. So what does mastering a song mean? Mastering a song involves taking a mix and putting the final touches on it by elevating certain sonic characteristics. This can involve aspects like adjusting levels, applying stereo, enhancement, and monitoring for clicks and pops, anything that could distract the listener from the music. So the end result is a polished, clean sound that is optimized for consistent playback across the different formats and system. So mastering a song, when it comes on mastering a song po kasi, there are some song na hindi po siya clear yung sounds. Hindi siya malinis. It is not a clear sound. So in order to fix it po, you need to apply some adjustment on the aspect and the characteristics of the song in order to make it more consistent. Next slide, please. Okay na po, sir.
Okay na, na-lock slide ko na. Mabagal lang yung ano yan, yung upload speed natin dyan. Sige na. Okay, nasend ko na.
Sige po. Okay. Next is mastering necessary? So mastering makes the sound cohesive across the record and prepares the music for different distribution formats such as vinyl, MP3 or AAC, streaming services such as Spotify and broadcast. In today's world, mastering is necessary to create that finished sound that you hear every day in everything from television, commercials to radio and streaming. So, ang question po dito, is mastering necessary? Yes po, it is very necessary since especially if you are a producer or kapag musician ka or songwriter ka, importante po na malaman mo kung paano magmaster ng isang audio level. So, like for example, you want to make your own piece. So, kailangan in order to make the sound clearly and make it more, tawag dyan, yung malino para sa'yo, yung magandang pakinggan, you need to adjust it. Kumbaga, kailangan mong magkaroon ng adjustment para magkaroon ka ng isang finished sound. Next is how to master an audio. So here are the basic steps po in mastering an audio. The first step is establishing the aesthetic and sound of the song. So when you're engaged in mastering, you're trying to make the final decision about whether to change something, whether it needs to sound different in one way or another. So the goal is to make a song sing, making it sound as good as possible. Does the mix sound too bright? Does it have too much low end? Or this first step can involve adjusting levels and examining the tonal balance of the mix, as well as preparing the audio and removing unwanted clicks, pops, or noise that was left over from the stereo mixdown. So this step can also involve listening to reference tracks to get an idea of the sound you and your artist are looking for. So here in step 1 po, establishing the aesthetic and sound of the song. So dito po papasok yung mga adjustments na kailangan gawin. So if you want to change the sound of the song or gusto mong i-balance yung tone nung kanta. So nakadepende po siya sa iyo. It depends on you if you want to change the song or if you want to make it different than the previous song. So yun po. So next is the specific processor used in mastering. So included pa po ito sa step 1. So the specific processor used in mastering, first is the compressor, limiters, and expanders are used to adjust the dynamics of a mix. Next is equalizers are used to shape the tonal balance by boosting or cutting specific ranges of frequencies. Then the stereo imaging can adjust the perceived width and image of the sound field. Next is harmonic exciters can add an edge or sparkle to the mix, adding combination of odd or even harmonics to the frequency can create a sense of energy in the mix. Next slide po, sir. So next one is limiters or maximizers. It limits peaks to prevent clipping as the user increases the overall level of the audio. The metering is any visual aid that helps mastering engineer measure various aspects of their mixes, helping them make better decisions about frequency content, stereo spread, levels, and dynamic range. Last is the deter. Deter is used in cases when it is necessary to convert higher word length recordings, for example, 24 or 32 bit, to lower bit depths like 16 bit for CD, while maintaining dynamic range and minimizing quantization distortion. So yung following specific processor po, ito po yung mga ginagamit na pang-adjustment sa audio mastering. So kung gusto mo magkaroon ng changes sa tonal balance, kung gusto mong i-high and low yung notes, kung gusto mong i-remove yung mga unwanted unwanted sound na ayaw mong marinig doon sa kanta, is pwede mo siyang i-adjust dito sa specific processor used in mastering. The step 2 is creating consistency across an album.
Yan. So, medyo nawawala ulit si ma'am. Okay, so sa mga viewers natin dyan, mastering po is actually done by a master engineer. Okay? Pero kung yung producer marunong mag-master, why not? There are tools actually that can be used, and explain yung kanina ni ma'am that we have to use again this following processors right here. So we need to have this compressors, limiters, and expander, equalizers, and stereo imaging applications. Of course, we have harmonic exciters para magpadagdag po ng ating depth. Okay? And we also have here the limiter and maximizer for actually avoiding the clip. And we have metering to adjust all of those frequencies and stereo spread and dynamic range of the final track. And deter po naman, iyan po yung ginagamit lalong-lalo na kung ma-convert po kita key smaller file. Kasi iba-iba naman po kasi ang ating ano yan, let's say kanina pinakita sa atin na meron siyang AAC, meron siyang ang MP3, meron din siya po yung WAV, 'di ba? So ibig sabihin ng deter is para po ma-convert siya into right medium or media. Okay, nagpagagamitan. Lalong-lalo na kung for example 16-bit lang, ang purpose kasi niyan is kahit i-compress natin yan sa medyo mababang MB or let's say sa mababang ano yan, hindi masisira yung tunog. Hindi mawawala yung quality ng tunog galing doon sa pinakaunang format niya. Okay? Or which is the WAV. Yan. So let's proceed, ma'am.
So, yung sa step 2 po, so while some of this is achieved in step 1, it's important to carve out a step for evaluating how individual tracks sound in relation to each other when played in succession. So this is not a make one present, set it and forget it situation where you have to exact same treatment at all your tracks. So the main goal is for the listener to feel like they're in the same space throughout the entire listening experience and never touch the volume knob when moving from song to song. So which will most likely mean using different settings, even different processor for different tracks. So ito pong sa step 2, even though the album has a different soundtrack po, kumbaga nag-enjoy pa rin yung listener mo na pakinggan yung song. Hindi sila yung nag-stop na makinig doon sa kanta because they are enjoying it. So it is because of the consistency of the sound.
Okay.
So step 3, preparing for distribution. So this is the last step po. So preparing your tracks for distribution is a crucial step in mastering that results in your listener having the experience that you want them to have. This involves ensuring the levels are set right, making sure there's nothing wrong with the audio, and making sure that the audio isn't too dark or too bright compared to the rest of the audio tracks in the world. So yung first step po is gumamit po siya ng mga processors for audio mastering. So yun po yung sa adjustment. Then yung sa step 2 is yung consistency ng isang album. Then yung last step is you need to make sure na wala pong mali doon sa audio level. Kumbaga na ensure mo na tama talaga yung soundtrack niya. Kumbaga walang mali doon sa sounds. So and after that you need to prepare it for distribution. So for my final say in this discussion, in attaining the right levels during mastering is about finding the right balance between dynamics and loudness. As with everything in audio, let your ears be the final judge. So here are my reference po. You can check it out in Google. That will be all. Thank you po.
Alright. Thank you very much sa ating first discussion. Well said, ma'am. Risa Rose Anchoquia.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope natuto kayo. That is the overview. Okay? Kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng mastering. Pero, isa-isa natin kung paano talaga yan gagawin. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, huwag kayong alis and we'll be right back. Okay, so nagbabalikan yung host si Jika Sensei and thank you very much for watching our live stream. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung isa nating viewer. Ayan, si paring Burns Abordo. Ayan, shoutout sa iyo, sir. So, I hope meron kayong natutunan dun sa first naming topic. Pero mas mahalaga yung susunod. Okay, so right now po, let me call on now yung kanina. Na-excite masyado si ma'am. Ano si ma'am? Yan, si ma'am Mikey Zaragoza to discuss okay, mastering the audio levels. Okay, so ma'am, isa to sa napaka-importanting topic, guys. So, stay tuned kayo. Ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed na po. Ma'am? Take it away.
So, again, good afternoon to everyone. So, again, I am Mikey R. Zaragoza of BTLED 3 ICT, your discussion for the topic, Mastering Audio Levels. Next po. Okay. So, in this discussion, we are going to talk about the different types of audio level signal, which are mic, instrument, line, and speaker level signal. Next po, sir. So, mic, instrument, line, and speaker level signals differ when it comes to their voltage levels. So, from the weakest to strongest voltage level, it goes mic level, instrument level, line level, and then speaker level signal. Nakikita naman po natin sa picture, sa example picture po dyan. So, mic level. Mic level is the voltage of signal generated by a microphone. This is the lowest or weakest level signal of the four and requires a preamplifier to bring it up to line level. So it's clear that you often need to boost mic level and instrument level signals to line levels somehow. But how do you go about doing this? Next po, sir. So, well, a mic preamp is designed to boost the level of mic level signals, which are usually produced by microphones. So if you own an audio interface, may pagkakataon na mayroong at least one mic preamp na nakapaloob doon. Pero may mga standalone mic preamps din. A mic preamp amplifies the millivolts from a microphone up to line level. So mic preamps all do the same thing, which is boost mic level signal to line level. But some mic preamps introduce a certain desirable character while others attempt to provide clarity. So various standalone preamps also include built-in EQs or compressor, which provide additional functionality. Lastly, mic preamps does provide a little more versatility and may make it slightly easier to find the sound you're looking for. Next po, sir. So, instrument level. Instrument level signals fall between mic level and line level signals. These signals refer to any level put out by an instrument, commonly from an electric guitar or bass. A preamplifier is required to bring the signal up to line level. Next question. Electric guitars and bass guitars produce high impedance and balanced instrument level signals. So, yung unang issue dito is the pickups found in this instrument produce a relatively high impedance signal, so you need to run them into an input with an extremely high impedance. So, unfortunately, not all audio gear provides high impedance inputs. When you run a high impedance signal into a low impedance signal, input, there's going to be a loss of top-end frequency content, which na hindi na natin magugustuhan.
Okay. So, ang sikreto dyan, mga kapatid, para maayos yan, kinakailangan nyo ng tinatawag nating DI box. Okay? So, ang mangyayari kasi dyan, pag high impedance, okay, so, mas marami yung ano yan, yung unnecessary unwanted noise dyan, tapos parang hindi masyadong clear yung signal. So, in order for that thing to happen, na mas maganda pa rin yung signal, gumagamit tayo ng DI box. So, ang DI box is that a kind of apparatus na isasaksak mo yung gitara mo doon. Okay? For example, electric guitar. Ito kung walang preamp yung electric guitar ninyo. Ibig sabihin, kung likewise nakakita na kayo ng acoustic guitar, di ba meron yung ina-adjustan dyan? Ang tawag doon preamp bago nyo isaksak sa interface. So, kung for example, sa electric guitar, ang gagawin natin is, kukuha tayo ng DI box, isasaksak nyo yung mga effects. Pagkasaksak nyo ng effects, saksak nyo sa DI box. Yung DI box nyo, idediretso nyo sa inyong interface or mixer gamit yung microphone cable, yung XLR cable. So, papasok yung signal doon sa ating console. Napakalinis na. Okay? Hindi na siya, sabi kanina ni ma'am, na medyo nawawala yung ibang frequency. Talagang tunog ng gitara. Okay? So, yun ang kagandahan kapag meron ka pong DI box. And of course, sometimes meron tayong tinatawag na ito sa mga gitarista natin. We also have this device, what we call the cabinet simulator or yung cab sim. Yung cab sim naman po is kung ayaw mo ng i-mic yung amplifier, 'di ba? Tutugtog ka as monitor. Yung amplifier diyan sa baba, and then yung speaker, lalagyan mo ng microphone. So pag nalagyan mo ng microphone, yung microphone hindi diretso dito sa ang audio interface or sa console. Pero ang problema noon, okay, dapat tama yung miking mo. 'Di ba? Samantalang kung gagamit ka ngayon ng cab simulator, ito yung bago ngayon sa market. Yung cab simulator po is pagsaksak mo diyan sa ano yan, automatic DI box na rin po 'yun. Pagsaksak mo diyan is hahanap ka ng iba't ibang klase ng miking pattern. Okay, naka-record na siya doon sa application or sa aparatus. Pagtugtog mo ng gitara mo, kung ano yung gusto mong klase ng ano yan, simulation or pagkakalagay ng microphone digitally, siya yung lalabas at papasok doon sa ating mixer or sa interface. So, ganun po ka-updated ngayon ang ating market or technology pagdating sa mga devices or let's say, effects or additional auxiliary apparatuses pagdating po sa instrument level clarity. Ayan. So, yun, sinabi ko na yun sa inyo ha. Ito yung dapat nating bilhin. Kaya kung wala kayong pambili, magtyaga na lang kayo sa miking. Mic level lang yan, okay? Ang importante kasi yung preamp ninyo maganda para yung pagpasok ng signal malinis, di ba? Okay, so let's proceed, ma'am.
So, yung second issue naman po dito is yung the signal that guitars and basses produce is unbalanced. This means that if you try to run the signal through cables over roughly 25 feet, you introduce unwanted noise to the signal. So,
Yes po.
factors like
Tama yun, ma'am. Kasi, sabi ko kanina, para mawala yung ibang ano yan, lalong-lalo yun yung noise, yung mga sagitsit. At alam nyo ba, na kapag kayo gumamit ng unbalanced cable, pag humaba yan ng 12 metro, okay, or let's say 25 feet, mapipick up nyo yung ibang ano yan, sound, yung tunog ng cellphone ninyo, tak, makukuha niyan. Makukuha niyan yung radyo, papasok dyan. So, ibig sabihin, no, yung mga ibang radio frequencies around the surroundings, makukuha at mapipick up niya yan. So, ngayon, para mas gumanda yan, you need to use cab simulator or DI box to convert that line into balance signal. O, yan yun ang gagawin natin, ha? Okay, ma'am?
Okay po, sir. So next po, line level. So line level signals are the highest level signals before amplification. So this is the type of signal that typically flows through your recording system after the pre-amplifier stage. And before the amplifier that powers your speaker, the two types of line levels are consumer and professional. Next po, sir. So if you feed a mic or instrument level signal into a line input on a piece of hardware, you'll end up with a very weak and in some cases almost audible sound. This is incredibly problematic when you run the signal through a device that is input level dependent, like a compressor. If the input signal isn't strong enough to drive the line input, the signal won't reach the compressor's threshold level, so it's not going to apply compression. So dito naman, line level signal is often referred as the standard pro audio signal level because most external hardware like EQs, reverbs, and delays are built to accept line level signal. So sa ibang devices naman, kagaya ng mixing consoles at interfaces, nag-accept din sila ng line level signals. So in the same way, that it's possible to feed a device a signal that's too weak, it's just easy to feed a device a signal that's too strong.
Yeah.
For example, if a device is meant to accept a mic level signal or an instrument level signal, but you feed it a line level signal, you'll overdrive the device, which can result in heavy distortion.
Yep. Okay.
So there are actually two types of line voltage levels, which include consumer line level and professional line level. So consumer line level is rated around negative 10 dB and is what you'll find in products like a CD player. So professional line level is rated around positive 4 dBu and can be found in equipment like mixing desk, preamplifiers, and signal processing equipment. So the inputs and outputs on consumer electronics are usually designed to work optimally with negative 10 DBV line signals, while the inputs and outputs on Pro Audio Gear are often designed to work optimally with positive DBBU line level signals, which are a bit stronger than the consumer line level. So take note, a common error is to connect plugs and sockets together just because they fit. Don't assume audio level based just on the type of plug being used. The same type of plug can be used for different purposes and different audio levels.
Tama. Okay? Ito na.
So sa last type of audio levels is speaker level signal. Speaker level signals are post-amplification. After a line level signal enters an amplifier, it exists to the speakers at what is called speaker level. So these signals are much higher in voltage than line level and require speaker cables for safe signal transfer. Next po, sir. So a speaker needs a few volts of electrical audio signal to make new movement in the speaker to create a sound wave that we can hear. Small speakers need only a few volts, but large speakers need 50 to 100 volts to make a loud sound. So speaker level signal is signal that has been amplified using an amplifier. When you run a line level signal into your studio monitors, the amplifiers built into your speakers boost the signal up to speaker level. So smaller speakers requires less volts to produce sound waves, whereas large speakers requires more volts.
Okay?
So take note, if you find a speaker level output on a piece of hardware like a power amp, be very cautious. Connecting this output to a mic, instrument, or line level input on a piece of gear can damage it. Make sure that you only connect speaker level outputs to speaker level inputs. Another, you also want to make sure that you form this connection using speaker cables. Speaker cables are unshielded and use thick wires. If you use the wrong type of cable, like an instrument cable which is shielded and contains thin wires, you can actually melt the cable and damage your amplifier too. So that's all. Thank you, sir.
Alright, thank you very much sa ating discussant. We have Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza. Thank you very much, ma'am. Ayan. So, in-explain ulit kanina ni ma'am yung yung ano yan, yung cabling. Okay? Yung kung paano ikabit yung tamang mga wires. Okay? Yun nga sabi ni ma'am kanina, importante ito, lalo lang kapag magmamastering ka, that you should know the consumer type level. Okay? So, normally, kapag tayo nag-produce sa market, okay, for example, gusto mong i-upload sa Spotify, gusto mong i-upload sa YouTube, gusto mong i-upload sa Facebook, or any kind of social media platforms, normally, ang ginagamit natin dyan pag nag-render is yung sa consumer type, which is negative 10 dB. Okay? Ligtas kasi siya sa distortion. Ligtas sa distortion, kaya hindi siya masyadong tawag ba dito ang masakit sa tenga pag nag-render. Okay? Yun ang purpose niya. Lalong-lalo na kayo, for example, sa consumer type natin is yung cellphones nyo. Okay? Naka-negative 10 decibels po yan. dB volt. Okay? Or dBV. Kasi, remember, pag nga kayo unang humataw ng cellphone ninyo na naka-earphone, pag sinagad ninyo yung volume, may lumalabas dyan eh. 'Di ba? Warning. 'Di ba? Ano tawag ba dito? Increasing the volume might damage your ears. 'Di ba? May lumalabas na kanyan. Part yan sa consumer products talaga that we are actually giving warning just to be aware that kahit yan, ito ang problema ng sa mastering eh. Kaya importanteng dapat malaman ng isang master engineer yung consumer type is that there's a chance kung mapansin niyo pag kayo nag-play ng audio sa cellphone niyo, may mga audio malakas kahit di naman sagad. Konting tapak pa lang ninyo ng increased volume, ang lakas na. 'Di ba? Meron naman diyang sobrang hina kahit sagad na. 'Yon. So may problema 'yun sa mastering. Nagets na ninyo. Ibig sabihin, na-mix siya pero hindi siya po na-master. Kasi hindi niya po na-meet yung criteria po na sinabi kanina ni ma'am. Kaya that is the consumer type production or mastering level. Thank you very much ulit sa iyo, Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza. Okay? Mga ka-eduk, huwag kayong aalis and we will be right back. Okay, so nagbabalik kayo yung host Sergio Kasensay and let's proceed na po sa ating third steps po dito. Alam na natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng audio mastering. Alam na natin kung ano ang mga line levels na gagamitin natin for production and rendering. So ngayon punta tayo dito sa unang process and that is compression. Okay, so importanteng may compression because hindi natin alam kung gaano kalakas yung ibang instrument from the mix. So importanteng ma-master natin to. Okay, so sir, we have, ayan, ready na sir? We have Sir Mike Martiliana. Okay, sir? Ikaw na po bahala. Let's do this.
Viewers, I'm Mike Martilana for the topic Mastering Compression from Beta Lead ICT 3. So, mastering compression is the one way of controlling is to adjust the recording level during the performance using the faders known as a faders or gaining or riding. This requires a very careful and quick response to changes. So, ito yung ginagamit ito yung sa recording, yung fader and yung mag-gain natin yung riding. A more effective remedy is to reduce the dynamic range of assigned by use of compression. Yung ginagamit natin ditong compression is the dynamic range compression. Next.
Okay.
A compressor is an amplifier whose gain decreases as its input level is increased. So, minsan baga na makikita natin dun sa mga gumagamit ng mga sounds, gumagamit sila ng amplifier para mas mapalakas yung sound na ginagamit nila.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Next, sir. Compression. As an audio processing tool, compressor can be protective and creative. So, first dito is yung protective. The dynamic range of an audio signal can be reduced to prevent overload, sound death, or tape saturation, sound directing, and rest of distortion. So, yung una is yung protective para ma-prevent dito yung pag-reduce and yung distortion ng sound.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yung pangalawa is creative. Hindi ko siya nabasa. is
Okay, kanina gibo po, no? Ayan, hindi mo nabasa ako kan. Bahala ka dyan. Hindi ko mong pati na-edit. Bahala ka dyan.
sarado ito. Yan.
Okay.
Ano na, sir?
Okay. Basahin mo yan. Pilitin mo yung basahin. Sarado yun ko na. Okay, so tutulungan ko si sir. Okay, so ako magbabasa. So regarding here, ladies and gentlemen,
Can be
pwede natin gamitin ang compression. Okay? First of all is for safety purposes. Remember, sa audio production, the first principle natin is do no harm sa ating mga tenga. Okay? So, protective. Ibig sabihin, chinecheck namin yung level. Okay? Na kung saan, hindi naman po siya automatically nakakasira sa balancing. Yun nga lang, na-avoid natin yung mga lumalagpas po sa level po wherein balance is compromised. Okay? So, importante po na dapat hindi po siya po umangat doon. Kaya, kinokontrol natin for protective purposes para hindi masira yung mix. So, that's protection. Sa creative naman po, sabi dito in a studio, compressor can be used creatively to reduce the dynamic range of audio signal as so produced or more evenly controlled on a different balance of sound. Ang purpose nito is that, for example, tumutugtog ngayon yung ano yan, yung instrumento na drums, vocals, guitars, keyboards, nagsabay-sabay silang lahat. Alam naman natin sa isang ano yan, production, lalo na kung pop, mas dapat lumitaw yung boses. Ngayon, there is a chance na hindi mo naman pwedeng diktahan yung instrument, lalo na kung live, yung instrumentalist na hinaan niya yung part na yun. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin yun or even in recording kasi may sarili siya pong dynamic style. Iba-iba po ang dynamic style ng performer. So, to reduce that, okay, we will be creative. In what sense? Iko-compress natin ng konti yung ano yan, dynamic range nung, for example, the drums, para palitawin natin kahit papano yung bass guitar and yung vocals na hindi po masyadong naapektuhan yung master level pagdating po dun sa final mix. So, yun ang magiging creative dyan. So magtataka yun, ba't biglang lumakas yung gitara dito? Kanina mahina siya. Okay? So it's just a matter of being creative in such a way na hindi natin pwede pong i-jeopardize yung dynamic range ng bawat instrumento. Ang pangit kasi naman yan, kung pare-pareho ang dynamic range niyan, hindi po yan pwede. Ipapareho mo sa dynamic range ng vocal sa drums? Hindi. Hindi pwede mangyari yon. Okay? So, paano yun mangyayari na hindi po siya nasisira yung master level, pero nakalitaw pa rin yung boses, hindi nakakaangat yung ibang instrument? Ang gagamitin natin dyan is compressor. Okay? Compression ang gagamitin natin. Okay? So, yan. So, dito ngayon, ito yung pinapakita ni Sir. Meron ditong tinatawag na sidechain. Pinaliwanag ko to kahapon mga ka-edux. Ang sidechaining is yung docking na sinasabi. Ulitin ko, yung sidechaining is what we also call docking. Ibig sabihin, kapag may gusto kang palabasing tunog, okay? Pas gusto mong lumitaw siya doon, ikakat niya yung threshold. Hanggang doon ka lang, hindi ka pwedeng lumagpas doon. Pero hindi niya nasisira yung overall dynamic range ng instrument or ng signal. Yan tawag doon sidechaining. Normally, ladies and gentlemen, pag po tayo talaga nag-compress, karamihan talaga nangyayari is docking or sidechaining. Because, ang purpose naman nito is, alangan naman kasing hindi balanse yung level ng instrumento. May problema kayo sa gain staging pa lang. Kaya importante yung kahapon diniscuss natin. So, ang sa atin lang dito is, sa compression system, hindi po maalis ang sidechaining. Because sidechaining is the manner of reduction of a particular dynamic level na hindi nasisira po yung pinaka solid track ng instrumento or ng signal. Okay? Yun lang ang ibig sabihin yan. Okay? So, tutulungan ko na si Sir kasi hindi niya mabasa. Ayan. So, kahapon sinabi ko na rin to yung tutulungan ko na si Sir. Itong picks naman is yung yung pinakasagad niya. Okay? May chances kasi, ladies and gentlemen, na kapag tayo magko-compress, okay, minsan na-overdo ang compression. Ano ang nangyayari sa tunog? Sakal. Hindi nakakahinga yung instrument because meron siyang dynamic range na kung saan pag hinataw mo yung drums, kapag hinataw mo yung, for example, nag-slap ka sa bass, may part siya na medyo tataas ng konti yung kanyang audio level. Yun nga lang, to prove this na hindi po porket nag-compress ka is okay na. Kasi po, hindi nyo chinek yung dynamic range ng instrumento. So, ang pangyayari doon is, nag-compress ka, pero sinakal mo yung instrumento. Okay, in somewhat, maganda siyang pakinggan in, for example, sa portion ng kanta, for example, sa refrain part ng song, kinompress mo yung bass, ang ganda. Pagdating sa chorus, siyempre, pag chorus, medyo lumalakas yung yung tugtog. Normally yan, pag nag-arrange ng music, nasobrahan mo rin yung compression or pinare mo yung compression doon sa refrain tapos doon sa chorus, hindi po yun pwedeng mangyari. You need to change the compression level pagdating doon sa chorus kasi iba na rin po siya. So, ganun po ka-complicated pagdating po sa master compression. Kasi yung dati pinakita ko sa ating mga viewers, yung mixing compression. Iba po sa mastering compression. Sa mastering compression, ang kagandahan dito is kino-compress mo yan as a master engineer. Now, once lumabas yan sa speaker, sa headphone, yung gustong-gusto ng listener. Okay? Yan ang purpose ng master compression. Yung pag narinig yan ng kahit sinong tao, ay, okay na to ha. Kaya importante sa master sa mastering. Okay, sa totoo lang mas maganda niyan, kunin nyo yung kliyente nyo, kumuha kayo ng isa pang tao dyan, nanay mo, tatay mo, maski sino friend mo, at ikaw, kayong tatlo, umupo kayo doon sa upuan, pakinggan nyo yung tugtog, at i-compare ninyo bawat isa kung ano yung na-find out ninyo. Pagdating sa compression, okay na ba yung tunog? Sabi nung isa, parang medyo sakal. Babawasan mo. Titimplan mo na naman sa compressor mo. Bawasan mo yung attack, masyadong masyadong strong. Okay. So, yan. Bilisan mo naman yung release. So, yun yung mga ganung bagay na dapat po pinag-uusapan, lalong-lalo na ng producer at ng master engineer. Okay? Tapos ng kliyente. Kayong tatlo mag-usap-usap kayo para bago yan i-release sa Spotify, bago i-release sa Facebook, bago i-release kung saan, walang sisihan afterwards. Kasi once na po yan ay na-distribute na, nako po, mahirap na yan bawiin. 'Di ba? Nasa huli ang pagsisisi. So, bago ninyo ipalabas, ay mag-usap kayong tatlo. Yun ang kagandahan nito. Okay? So, ayan, ito yung mga uri po ng mga cute mga ika picture ni sir. Mga cute ka mga picture mo. Ako naliliitan eh. Okay, yan po. Compression circuit types. Kay compression circuit. Ay, ito mga tawag po ng compressors na ginagamit natin. Okay? So, ito yung kanina. Masyadong maliit. Okay, so yan. Papalakiin ko mga kapatid. Yan. Ito po yung tinatawag nating attack examples. Yan. Yung original waveform po na nakikita ninyo right there. Okay? Asan na si sir? Ayan. Ikaw ba sir ang nag-download nito? Okay, yan. Pinapalaki ko. Tutulungan kita. Yung original waveform niya is ganon. Mapapansin ninyo. Okay, halos mapuno na yung spectrum. Pagdating dito sa kabila, sa attack, okay, and that is about 0.3 milliseconds. So, ibig sabihin, tingnan nyo, sa loob ng 0.3 milliseconds, ganun po kabilis yung kanyang atake. Ganun kabilis yung bawas. So, mapapansin ninyo dyan, hindi po naalis yung mga medyo peak dito sa unahan ng bawat hataw dyan. Ewan kung anong ba to, drums ba to, or kung anong instrumento. And makikita ninyo kung nasaan po yung atake. Dun sa mga susunod, after ng 0.3 milliseconds. Napansin niyo, ayan o, yung unang hataw, meron pang natira. Naguhit. Yung susunod, medyo nawala na. O, yan ang ibig sabihin ng atake. Ibig sabihin, papasok lang yung attack, okay? After ng 0.3 milliseconds. Yan, dun siya papasok. Yung release naman is, nandito ba yung release? Wala bang release dito, sir? Wala na yung release dito, okay? Yung release naman po, ladies and gentlemen, is kung gaano katagal mawawala yung compression. Okay? For example, ito, napansin niyo dyan sa screen, ang 0.3 milliseconds, ito, hanggang kailan ba yan babalik sa normal dynamic range? Yun ang ibig sabihin ng release. Pag, for example, yung release mo is about 1 millisecond, 0.1 or 0.5 milliseconds, ganun siya kabilis po, maaalis. Babalik ulit siya dun sa normal ng dynamic range. Yun ang kagandahan sa compression. Okay, ang purpose lang ng compression, i-balance yung level na hindi po makakasira or makaka-overlap sa isang uri ng instrumento sa mix. Parang sa estudyante lang yan eh. Ano ibig sabihin dyan? Pag sa loob ng classroom, pag may nagsasalita, yung iba, quiet lang, di ba? Para lumitaw yung isa. Di ba? Sino sa inyo dito sumali sa speech choir? Nag-speech choir kayo? Dati. Yung conductor ninyo nagbabalanse.
Yes,
Yung conductor niyo nagbabalanse yan ng boses. Sabi ng conductor niyo, hinaan mo yun doon. Lilitaw yung isang part. Mahina naman dito, mamaya lalakas na naman yung isang part diyan sa speech choir. So, yun ang purpose ng conductor doon. Para siya yung nagko-compress ng tunog para mas may lumitaw, may mawawala ng konti, babalik na naman siya afterwards. Ganun lang siya. Okay, ganun po yung tinatawag nating compression. Okay, so matanong ko si sir regarding dito sa sa subject niya. Sir, kapag ganito ang color, okay, napansin mo, this is the gain reduction here. Pag sinabi nating heavy, anong ibig sabihin niyan, sir? Ayan.
Mas malakas, sir. Malakas.
Okay, mas malakas yung
Tunog.
yung compression. Okay. Pag sinabi nating medium, ayan.
Yes, sir.
Ang nangyayari kasi diyan, guys, pagdating sa gain reduction, ibuboost mo yung gain, hahatawin ng compressor. Okay? Ang purpose nito is parang isang makeup gain. Okay? Para kinompress mo siya, hindi naman po lulubog yung inyong ang instruments pagdating sa mix. Okay? Importante hindi siya lumubog. Kinompress kasi ninyo eh. Pag kinompress nyo yan, isipin nyo na lang to. Pag kumain kayo ng hamburger, compress nyo yung burger. Ano mangyayari pag kinompress nyo yung burger? Nairulwas baga sa gilid so palaman? Pag kinompress nyo? Di ba lumalabas yung palaman sa
Yes,
gilid? O, ganun nangyayari sa compression. Kinompress nyo yung tinapay, may umangat, may lumabas. Ibig sabihin, wag sobrang diin sa compression para hindi naman lumabas lahat. Ang nangyari, nawala na siya. Pinalabas mo yung iba, nasaan na yung ano yan, yung isang instrumento, nawala na. O, paano mo na naman yung gagawin? Gagawin mo is, magdadagdag ka ng gain. Yan. Kaya merong gain reduction or let's say gain makeup. Importante to. Okay, so, hindi na tayo dito magtatagal sa compression. Ang tanong lang natin sa ating discussion, sir, sa tingin mo, bakit importante? Why is it that mastering compression is important sa mix? Okay, sa tingin mo lang.
para sir di masira yung ibang sound and para di matapalan yung mga sound na ginagamit natin.
Alright, thank you very much, sir. Well said.
Para
Yan. Yun po, sinabi na ng ating ano
palabas
yan.
yung apo.
Okay, sinabi na ni sir, ha? Para di
May
po
palabas
matapalan. Okay, ilang kaklarado man sa rekato. Simple man sa explanation na di matapalan sa iba. Okay? So, kasi kung
Yes, sir.
walang compression na mangyayari, sigurado ako, ang mix ninyo is messy. Messy mix. Lahat gustong lumitaw. Hindi yung pwede sa ating mixing course or let's say dito sa audio production. So, we need to balance everything. Okay? And we use that for mastering the audio level signal by means of compression. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mike Martilian. Okay? Maraming salamat, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
po. Okay? And so, ladies and gentlemen, tapos na tayo dito sa compression and huwag kayong alis dahil may susunod pa tayong topic and that is master equalization. Okay? We'll be right back. Okay, so nagbabalikan yung host, CJ Casenza, and welcome back sa ating Mastering and Rendering live stream session ngayong hapon. And ang importante po na malaman natin na this is the last step pagdating po sa audio production. So, nandiyan pa ba yung mga kagrupo ko? Sa dalawa kagrupo. Ayan, nandiyan pa yung mga ano yan, yung mga co-discussant. Ayos, tutok na tutok pa sila. Okay, so before we proceed sa ating next ano yan, ang discussion. Time check muna tayo. It's already 3:02 in the afternoon. Yan. So, isang oras na tayo. Dalawang topic pa lang yun. Ay, tatlo ba? Nakatatlo na tayong topic. Alright. So, kanina po na-discuss ni Ma'am Mikey yung ating sound levels. Na-discuss kanina ni Ma'am Risa po yung overview ng mastering. And si Sir naman po is yung compression. Now, let's proceed na, ladies and gentlemen, in mastering equalization. Okay? And to discuss this, we have Ma'am Maria Angela Madrigalejos. Ma'am, ikaw na po.
So, good afternoon again everyone and to our viewers. So, today we're going to discuss mastering equalization. I am Maria Angela M. Madrigalejos. With my partner, Generos Palencia, we're going to discuss this mastering equalization. So, what is mastering? So, mastering po is a process of optimizing the frequency and dynamic range of a recording so that it sounds best on most reproducing system, including home stereo, high-end system, car stereo, ghetto blaster, iPad, large club sound system, and etc. So, yung mastering po, ito po yung final stage na madadaanan ng isang music bago po siya i-release via streaming or physical media. So, mastering is also the last chance to fix things that went wrong during the production process.
Okay.
So, sometimes small edits and correction might be performed at this stage. So, what is equalization? So yung equalization po is or EQ is one of the most well-known forms of audio processing in music production. With EQ, you can adjust the volume level of a frequency or range of frequency within a sound, so which in turn allows you to cure a sound or sometimes even entire song of its imperfections. So, sa equalization naman po, ito po yung parang one of the primary weapons in mastering. So sa pamamagitan po ng pag-equalize ay mapapaganda natin yung sound ng music natin, and this is done by cutting unwanted frequencies and or boosting others, all to balance out sounds so they can fit our mix.
Gusto ko yung sinabi ni ma'am. One of the weapons. Oh! Okay, sabi ko sa inyo ang compression, equalization, kaysa mastering, yan yung final touch. So kung wala ka nitong ganitong mga uri ng bala, hindi gaganda yung mix. So importante meron talagang ganito. Weapons. Alright, ma'am. Okay, let's proceed po.
So there are 10 tips for effective EQ during mastering. So the first one is use an accurate monitoring system in an acoustically tuned room. So if your speakers are basslight, you will naturally tend to boost low frequencies, which will make the final product boomy when listening on other systems. So conversely, if your listening space has prominent room that is resonant low end frequency that often occur in untreated rooms, you will roll off bass to compensate, which will make your master notably thin and lacking in punch. So always invest in the most sonically neutral speakers you can afford, and be sure to install at least some basic acoustic treatment such as bass traps, diffusers, etc. in your room. So kailangan may maayos tayong monitoring system and room kung saan natin i-master yung sounds natin. And dapat yung mga speakers natin is kompleto siya. Dapat may naka-install na siyang mga basic treatment, kasi kung hindi natin maayos yung ginagamit na speaker, is iba yung magiging tunog niya pag lalo na kung ipi-play natin yung music sa sa ibang speakers.
Okay, so tama ito. Ito number 1. Okay, just to become okay, little bit professional dito. Okay, pag sinabi kasi ni Gating guys na ang acoustically tuned room, no? Ibig sabihin nito, meron po talaga kayong gagamiting apparatus or let's equipment to measure the acoustically overbalanced room. So, ibig sabihin, gagamit kayo dito ng tinatawag nating tawag ko dito drive racks. Ito yung mga processors na kung saan gagamitan natin ng tinatawag nating RTA mic. Okay? Ang RTA microphone po is ito po yung ginagamit for tawag pa dito real-time analysis ng ng sound sa loob ng room. So, isasaksak mo yung microphone gamit ang XLR cable, of course, kasi mic siya, doon po sa ating processor or sa ating drive rack. And then, we're going to do this, tawag ba dito? Analysis. Okay? So, meron siyang automatic analysis ng sound room. Okay? So, papatunogin yung tinatawag nating pink noise. Sa pink noise na yan, lalabas yung lahat ng frequency. Yan yung tunog na parang ganito. Shh! Yan yung pink noise. Tapos, lalabas dyan from 20 Hz to 20,000 Hertz. Lalabas po yon at i-check nung analyzer nyo kung saan siya po malakas. So, ang mangyayari sa analyzer, ibababa niya yun kung saan medyo malakas para i-balance niya. Kaya ang tawag dyan equalizer para po mapantay, mabalanse yung labas sa inyong speakers. Okay. Ang gamit kong speaker, sabi ni ma'am kasi importante rin yung speakers po. Ang gamit kong speaker is the Rocket Powered 5. Rocket Power 5 to. So, meron siya pong tawag ba dito? This is a powered amplifier. Ito monitor speaker to. Medyo mahal nga lang. Okay? At 10,000 yung isa. So, bali dalawa, 20,000. Pero ang purpose kasi nito kung bakit ko siya binili, meron siyang mga automatic system, processor. Okay? So, meron siyang, nag-a-adjust siya ng ng tawag ba dito, ng voltahe. Tapos pag hindi mo ginagamit, kusa siyang namamatay. May mga ganon. So maganda siya. It's a powered amplifier. Ano yan, speaker with amplifier sa loob. Okay. So in terms dito sa number 1, to become ano yan, ang little bit, ano tawag ba dito? Economical. Hindi nyo kailangan bumili nung ganun. Yung sinabi ko kanina. Yun, professional talaga yun. Ang sa atin lang is trust your ears at yung diniscuss natin last time, yung tamang position po ng speaker tapos yung tamang height ng speaker towards the producer or the engineer. Para po, at least, pag alam ninyong tama naman yung pagkaka-level nung ano yan, so, as you can see, medyo okay na po yung room. So, i-treat nyo lang yung room ng maayos, maglagay ng kortina, maglagay ng konting ano yan, absorber dyan sa bahay nyo. Sabi ko nga, libro na lang po as a form of diffusers, okay na siya. Okay? So, importante itong 1. Bakit? Ito siya. Akala kasi ninyo, may mali sa mix. Yung pala, nung pag-reflect nung tunog sa bahay ninyo, sa room nyo, doon pala may problema. Kasi anong nangyayari dyan, ang ganda ng mix mo dito sa headphone. Diba? Pag nagmi-mix sa gamit mo headphone. Iiba naman po yung headphone sa speaker. Kasi sa speaker, lumalabas yung tunog, medyo malakas, nagbabounce sa room ninyo. So, importante itong number 1. Baka kasi iba. At hindi mag-batch. Tapos, magre-recalibrate ka na naman, magre-remix ka na naman, until hindi mo maayos yung mastering. So, importante talaga itong number 1. Okay, let's proceed, ma'am.
Okay. So, kung makikita po natin dyan sa picture, meron po tayong far field monitors and yung near field monitors. So, monitors will sound different depending on your listening distance. Because of this, most monitors are designed to be used as either near field or far field monitors. So, yung near field monitors po generally have smaller drivers and are placed closer to the listener, around 2 to 3 feet away. So their proximity means that more direct sound from the monitor will hit the listener ears rather than reflected sound from surfaces in the room.
See?
So yung far field monitors naman po is they have larger drivers and are placed along the perimeter of the room farther away from the listeners. So they're often mounted on or in the wall behind the mixing desk. Doon po sa mga professional po, mas ginagamit po nila yung near field monitors po kasi yung sound is mas direct po sa pandinig po nila.
Opo. Tapos, hindi ka gagamit ng napakaraming kuryente. Tipid lang yun. Kasi in-ear, mas malapit, maliliit yung driver. So, mabababa lang yung wattage nila. So, hindi ka po kukonsumo ng maraming kuryente. Okay? Unless gusto mo mabingi. Maglagay ka ng napakaraming speaker. Ano ba, ginawa mong disco house yung studio mo? Hindi naman ganon. Pag home studio, particularly, 2 speaker lang. Left and right, stereo. Okay? Pero pag mga ganitong professional recording studio, kailangan po ng far field monitor. Bakit? To check the dynamic range. Yan. To check the dynamic range. Tapos yung sound pressure. Ano ba? Bagay ba doon sa consumer level? Bagay ba doon sa ating professional level? Chine-check yan nila. Kaya 2 yan. Okay, so let's proceed, ma'am.
So, the number 2 is understand the basics. So, a number of bands will be provided, each of which can be set to a different frequency. So, within each band, we can adjust the gain in order to boost or cut the selected frequency area. So, next. So, the highest and lowest bands can also usually be used for shelving. That is, they can roll off frequencies above or below, in which case they act as low-pass or high-pass filter, respectively. So shelving bands will offer a slope control, allowing you to adjust the gradient, gentle or steep, at which gain rolls off. So, knobs labeled high and low are usually as shelving EQ, meaning that they cut or boost everything below or above their named frequency. So yung high shelf can be applied to the trembly high end of sound frequency, while yung low shelf naman po is to the bass bottoms. So in addition, most EQ plugins are parametric, meaning that they also provide a width or Q control to narrow or widen the frequency area being affected. So tinatawag po natin itong Q na bandwidth. So in which pag ina-adjust natin itong bandwidth is naapektuhan niya yung range of yung frequencies.
Yep. So nakikita naman ninyo dyan sa ano yan. For example, ito ma'am, nakikita mo dyan. Ang frequency is about 8.79 kilohertz. Yung frequency na yan, yung ito ayan, yan frequency yan. So ito yung mga medyo matataas, yung mga letter S nandito yung presence. So, nakalagay naman dyan is binawasan niya, that's negative 2.78 decibel. So nakababa. Kasi yung ano yan, yung pinakalinya niya is the 0 decibel. And we have the Q. Anong ibig sabihin ng Q? Kung gaano po kadami yung madadamay niyang frequency. Kaya kung makikita mo yung curve dyan, yan parang ano yan, floating curve. Nakikita nyo? So that's 0.6. So ibig sabihin, along the frequency line, okay, nadamay niya yung ibang frequency sa gitna ng 8.79 kilohertz, 0.6 dito sa left, 0.6 dito sa right. Nadamay siya dyan. Ayun ang ibig sabihin ng Q. So kung gagamit kayo ng compressor, ng equalizer, ang pinaka-purpose is hahanapin nyo kung saan yung sobrang tono. Yung hindi na kinakailangan, tapos yung nakakasira na, for example, yung instrumento na keyboard, pagsabay ng vocalist, ay nawala yung vocalist. Chinek nyo yung compressor, tama naman yung level. Yung pala, nag-aagawan sila sa frequency. Ibig sabihin, para lumitaw yung level ng ng boses, okay, ibababa natin yung level ng keyboard, for example, on a particular frequency lamang. Hindi naman yung lahat. Yung particular frequency lang na nakikipag-agawa doon sa singer. Diba? Sa pop music. Ang pangit naman kasi ng isang pop mix na ang lumilitaw, instrumento. Diba? For example, sa BTS, you know BTS, right? You're a fan of BTS. Diba? Sino ba dito mga ARMY? ARMY ba kayo? So, if you are fan of BTS, ang production nila is very good, very cool. Ang lumilitaw talaga is boses nila. Diba? Kung napansin niyo, there's a time na pag introduction pa lang, intro, lahat ng instrumento litaw. Pagpasok ng mga boses ng singer, parang may nawawalang instrumento or humihina sila to give way to the frequency coming from the singers. Yun ang purpose netong EQ. So, medyo mahaba tong topic ni ma'am. Tatanungin na lang natin si ma'am para mapadali ito.
Ate po kami niyan, sir, ni Jenny Rose po.
Si Jenny Rose, okay? So, let's proceed, ma'am. May tanong lang ako kay ma'am. Ano ba, ma'am, ang dapat nating tatandaan pag nag-EQ mastering? Or let's say mastering equalization. Ito ba yung kinakailangan nating tanggalin yung sobrang tunog? Or magdadagdag tayo ng sobrang tunog? Or pareho? Para sa'yo?
Pareho po, sir.
Bakit?
Kasi po, para ma-enhance po yung sound, kailangan din po mag-cut or magdagdag po ng mga frequencies po.
Yan mga ka-eduk, narinig yung kay ma'am, tama yun. Bakit? May chances kasi nung nagmi-mix, parang nakat masyado nung producer. Sabi nung master engineer, may mali dito, I'm going to boost this one here. Yun. So, nagdagdag siya. So, hindi pala literally na ikaw ay palagi magbabawas. Kasi sa mastering, you're just leveling up the EQ on the consumer's most ideal listening perspective. Yun. Kasi ibibenta mo na eh. Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, dapat may 3 or 5 kayong tao dyan na gustong, makinig kayo dito. Hali kayo dito. Pakinggan nyo tong tugtog ko kung maganda siya. Pag nagsabi yung isa ng pangit, wag mong susuntukin. Pag nagsabi nung ang pangit ng mix mo, bawasan mo yung ganito. Sundin mo. Bakit? Meron lang kasi yung konting perspective na narinig siya na hindi mo narinig. Yun ang kagandahan dito. Okay? So, yun ma'am. Thank you very much para medyo mapadali itong discussion natin. Sino ma'am yung susunod na discussion natin?
Si Jenny Rose po.
Okay. Hello, ma'am Jenny Rose.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Nasaan si ma'am? Hindi ko mano. Naka-on na ba yung camera mo?
Yes po.
Okay. So, alin sa'yo, ma'am?
Number 7 po, sir. start sa number 7.
Okay, sige. Ito na tayo. Yan.
For the continuation of the topic, which is the tips for an effective equalization during mastering given by Miss Maria Angela. So number 7, identify and mix any problem frequencies. So if there are problem frequencies that stick out like resonance in the acoustic guitar or certain bass notes, which is caused by improper recording or poorly set up instrument, use the following procedures to identify them. The first one is choose the approximate frequency band in
Yan.
your equalizer plugin and set a narrow width or the Q.
Ayun.
So in equalizers, the Q, which is the quality factor na tinatawag, it defines the bandwidth of frequencies that will affect by an equalizer. Sabi nga ni Sir kanina, yung Q is the kung gaano yung madadamay na frequency dun sa equalizer. So in narrowing the bandwidth, we just have to raise the Q. So a narrow bandwidth, which is the high Q, is very useful for removing unpleasant tones.
Yan.
So pag high Q values, yung tendency is magiging steep lang ang curves niya sa frequency. But it can only affect a small range of frequencies. So the next one is letter B, boost the band by 5 to 10 decibels. Next, use the frequency control to sweep up and down as you listen closely. So yung frequency control po, it allows to select which frequency we want to manipulate. Like for example, we want to boost or reduce its frequency, simply move it to the exact spot you'd like for the desired effect. So the next one is letter D. When you hear the problem frequency become noticeably louder, narrow the Q some more and continue sweeping until the sound as its loudest. So in here po, we can use narrowing adjustment when cutting frequencies. And then wide adjustment for boosting. So this is one of the technique of a good equalizer.
Okay.
Sabi ko nga po kanina.
Ayun. Ma'am,
Sige po, sir.
meron dito nakalagay So baka sundin nyo to ha. Sabi dyan, boost that band by 5 to 10 decibel. Pero sabi dyan, don't worry, this is only temporary. Oo, ibig sabihin, hindi nyo yan susundin literally. Yan yun lang ideal. Pero, nagbabari yan, depende dun sa audio signal. Di ba sunodun nyo kan nga amin? Nakita nyo ng saragad na, isagad nyo, parugangan nyo pang 5 decibel, ang lakas-lakas na yan. Di ba? Tapos, ba't ganito? Hindi pala mali yung nabasa ko. Oo, don't worry, this is only temporary. Okay, so ano pa masasabihin mo, ma'am, regarding dito?
So in letter D po, all we have to do is to make some adjustment in the frequencies. So the diagram shows 4 key combinations. So let us start from the left to right.
Ayun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Napipick up yung ano yan. Napipick up yung tunog ng cellphone. Mga unbalanced wire yan dyan sa mga headphone niya. Anyway, sige, let's proceed, ma'am. Okay.
So number 1 po, a narrow cut which has a high Q value and negative gain. So as we can see here, meron po siyang negative 13 na gain. So kapag negative yung gain, yung values niya is decreasing yung signal level. And we call this cut.
Yep. Or attenuation.
As we can see
yan.
in the figure po, sa number 1, narrow yung cut and yung signal level niya is decreasing.
Yep.
So sa number 2 naman, a narrow boost with a positive gain. So sa number 2 naman po, meron siyang positive 13 na gain. Same thing with number 1. They are both narrow, but when it comes to their gain, they are opposite. So kapag sinabi po nating positive values, it increase the signal level at the specified frequency or yung tinatawag natin na boost. On the other hand naman po, yung negative values decrease its level of frequency. So number 3 po. Sa number 3, wide cut with a low Q value. As we can see po sa baba, yung level of frequency ni number 3 and then wide yung cut niya. And opposite po opposite ni number 3 si number 4. So, as we noticed in the diagram po, si number 1 and number 2 are opposite. Then, si number 3 and number 4 is also opposite when it comes to their level of frequency.
Okay.
Next po, sir. So, once you've identified the offending frequency of or frequencies, try applying a small notch-like reduction and make this cut in a small increments, half a decibel at the time or less, until the resonance is sufficiently reduced but without affecting the overall musical content.
Yan.
So this is particular important since you never want to make any EQ changes that will negatively affect or impact on the mix. So in a narrow bandwidth po, we can isolate the offending frequency and remove or even reject. So ito po yung tinatawag na notch filter, which is a type of narrow band reject filter. So by notching out the offending frequency, we can remove the problem without removing the instrument from the mix.
Okay.
So next po, remove rumble. So one step that many mastering engineers take as a matter of course is to set the lowest or shelving band of their equalizer to act as a high-pass filter by rolling off frequencies below 30 to 40 Hz with a gentle slope of 6 decibels or less to avoid facing problems. So as we can see in the figure po, meron siyang rolling of frequencies with 1,000 to 250 Hz and negative 18 decibels.
Okay.
And then yung slow
Yung
niya
tinutukoy
is
dito,
only
ma'am,
4.
ang tinutukoy mo dito is ang low cut or high pass filter, right? Yung
Yes,
nakalagay, ito kasing nakalagay dito sa iyo, nasa 1,000 kilo. Okay. Ang high pass filter, kasi, ayan mali yung nakuha mong ano yan. Yung picture. ang high pass filter, ang high pass filter is, nakikita nyo tong part na, tingnan ko na ito. Ayan. So, kung nakikita nyo guys dito, itong lower frequency coming from 30 to 40 Hz, yan yung ibababa. Okay, ibababa yan. Ayan, ang tawag dyan is, tawag mo dito, high pass filter. So, ang purpose niya, high pass filter, is kung hindi naman kinakailangan yung mga lower frequencies, okay? Lalong-lalo na sa boses ng tao, hindi nyo naman kinakailangan yung ibang ambience, lalo yung mga mababang tunog, dyan sa mix, ikakat mo yung mabababa. Ang tawag doon low cut or high pass filter. Okay? So, hindi kinakailangan kasi yun ng mix. For example, ano nga yung instrumento na yan? For example, naglagay ka ng isang instrumento like the snare drum. The snare, yung hataw ng snare. Kinakailangan ba nun yung lower frequency ng snare? Low subharmonics? Di niya kailangan. So, ikakat mo yon automatic. Pareho sa boses ng tao. Kakat mo na yon kasi hindi na sila po siya kailangan. So, ang nangyayari, kapag hindi mo siya kinat, nagsabay yung kick, yung bass drum, tapos yung bass guitar, magra-rumble talaga sila dyan. At mararamdan mo yun kasi ang tunog is parang bug. Ano yan, masakit sa tenga ng konti. Parang, yun nga, nagra-rumble, nabubugbog yung tenga mo. Okay? So, yun yung ibig sabihin yan. To avoid rumble, let's use the high pass filter. Okay? Let's proceed, ma'am.
This can act as a preventive measure if there is a lot of rumble or subsonic activity in the mix. Something which is the mixer engineer might not have been able to detect if there was no subwoofer in the use.
Yes.
And can also tighten up the remaining bass. Plus, it may give you a little extra headroom to work with, which is never a bad thing. However, this should be done with caution and possibly shouldn't be done at all in a bass-heavy genre such as EDM or electronic dance music, since you can sometimes lose the impact of the kick drum this way.
Okay.
Next,
So,
sir.
sa mga ano yan, lalong lang sa magmimix ng drums, ito yung natutunan ko sa Soundtech Philippines, kay Soundtech Phil. Sa tingin nyo, ang bass drum, yung kick, ilang mic ang dapat ilagay dyan? Sa tingin nyo, ilan?
Dalawa.
Dalawa.
Dalawa po.
Okay, bakit dalawa? Yung una kasing mic, doon po sa labas. Okay? Doon sa unahan. For example, yung drum, lalagyan mo ng mic doon sa may bilog niya. Yung isa naman pong mic, ilalagay nyo doon sa may kick, yung sa may beater. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-mix kayo, dalawa ang tunog ng bass drum. Yung isa po, yung boomness na, tapos yung subharmonic level. Yung isa naman pong tunog ng microphone is yun po yung tunog ng hataw ng kick. And it's more on attack and presence. So, ibig sabihin, mag-EQ kayo ng dalawang klase ng microphone or signal coming from that instrument, that is the bass drum. So, para hindi mag-agawan yung signal leveling mo, lalo na kung live, ang gagawin mo is, ikakat mo yung yung tawag ba dito, high frequency nung isa, just to make it yung boom lang yung tumunog, yung subsonic level, ibig sabihin yung mababang frequency, and that is to fill out the remaining spectrum para pag narinig mo yung tugtog, solid talaga naririnig mo, mararamdaman mo pa. And yung kick naman, yung kick nung yung mic na nakalagay sa kick, is tatanggalin mo yung kanyang subharmonic. So, ibig sabihin, mamimix mo ng maayos yung kick drum. So, yun yung importante doon. Kasi ang nangyayari, nagmamic sila ng isa sa kick. Pag mic nila sa isa sa kick, gusto nila lumabas yung tunog ng beater. Wala ka naman nga mic doon. So, anong gagawin nila? Ibuboost nila yung high frequency nung drums. Which is, hindi mo talaga siya mapapakinggan ng yung pinaka-natural na tunog ng drums. Pangit siya. Okay? So, yun yung nangyayari po sa tawag ba dito, sa pag-mix ng kick. So, mas maganda dalawa ang mic niya. Okay? So, let's proceed na ma'am dito po sa ating number 9. Come on.
So number 9, 2 EQs can be a better than 1. So as described in tip number 6 above, traditional, that is nonlinear equalizer can cause a phase anomaly known as smearing, especially when the multiple bands are being cut or boosted. However, in many cases, you may actually want that sound. After all, the vintage analog or EQs that people revere today smear the phase 2. Sometimes a little analog like warmth can do wonders to add color to your mix. So, you need different types of EQs po kasi they do different things to the audio and find the use in a specific situation. Also, different EQs are modeled with different curves. So, it's not like you get the same result with the two different kinds of EQs. Some sound may be bad and some sound may be great.
Na-testing ko na yan. Yan smearing na yan. Sabi ko, nagbago. Ano nangyari? Ano nangyari sa tunog? Parang litaw siyang lubog. Parang ganon. Kasi naghalo na yung dalawang EQ. Pero as much as possible, kung mag-EQ talaga po, we better use ang dalawang EQ. Isang EQ sa mix, isang EQ sa mastering. Kaya may importante rin dito nangyayari dito sa sa mastering. Kasi ang purpose kasi guys ng EQ sa mixing, ang ganda ng tunog. Ang purpose ng EQ sa mixing, normally is to cut yung mga unwanted frequency. Ngayon, pagdating kasi dito sa sa mastering, kung doon sa mix, hindi ba siya lumilitaw? Papalitawin mo ulit. Okay? On a certain level or frequency. Okay? Ngayon, kung magdadagdag ka na sang EQ, okay, pwede siya po. Pwede siya. In what sense? For example, hindi mo nakita or hindi mo normally kasi guys pag nag-EQ sa digital audio workstation, may graph. Ang parametric EQ po, parametric EQ is ito yung yung merong pinakita kanina si Ma'am dito. Asan na 'yon? Hanapin natin. Yan, yung ganyan, no. So, gumagalaw siya, may graph siya. Okay, na nakikita. So, ibig sabihin, may linya. Okay, nakikita mo talaga yung curve. Pero meron tayong tinatawag ng mga panahon is graphic EQ naman. Yung graphic equalizer, yung mga knobs baga yan, magsimula sa 0 Hz hanggang sa 20,000 Hz, isa-isahin mo yung itataas baba. Nakakita na kayo ng ganon? Okay, yung tawag ng graphic equalizer naman. Okay, so isa-isahin mo siya. Okay? So, yun naman ang problema doon pagdating sa EQing analog noong mga panahon. Ngayon, since makabago na tayo, nakikita mo na siya. At remember, kapag nag-EQ kayo sa digital audio workstation, nakikita nyo yung hataw ng frequency. Doon sa graph, makikita mo kaagad, mataas doon, babawasan mo. Pero sometimes, ito sa ating mga viewers, di porket nakita ng mata mo na hindi magkapantay doon sa ano yan, sa line of EQ, sa 0 decibel, tatanggalin mo. Hindi po yon. Remember, iba-iba po ang dynamic range at frequency responses ng iba't ibang instrumento. Huwag mong ipapareho, tamiling nakita mong di nagpantay, EQ daw dapat daw ipantay ko. Hindi po. Trust your ears. Okay? Trust your ears. Bakit? More than your eyes kasi ang product ninyo is pang tenga. Hindi naman makikita ng listener ninyo yung mga ginawa ninyong production effects dyan pag sinell na ninyo sa market. Yung tenga nila yung yung magiging tawag ba dito, kliyente nung final product. Hindi naman yung mata. So, importante rin na, yes, we need this graphic equalizers and this parametric EQs to suggest that kung hindi na kaya ng tenga natin, there will be a guide. But at the end product, tenga pa rin po ang masusunod. Okay? So baka yung mga emerging producer dyan, tirahin nyo kaagad, lahat nyo pinantay. Hindi na wala na naman yung yung dynamic range Kasi pag compress nyo doon, binos nyo dito bigla sa EQ, mangyayari, ano na naman yun, ba't di nagbabalance Yan. So, meron ka pong hindi sinunod na tama kasi binagay mo sa lahat. Ay, hindi po. Magkakaiba-iba siya. Okay? So, dito na po tayo, ma'am. Okay? So, ipakita na natin sa number 10. Harness the power of MS equalization. Come on, ma'am.
So, number 10, harness the power of MS equalization. If you're looking to bring out specific elements of a mix, try using an EQ plugin that offers middle or side or the MS processing like the F6 or H.EQ. So these powerful tools allow you to make separate out of those parts planned or the dead center. So from those planned off to the sides, or everything else. For example, by simply boosting a relative small area of mid-range frequencies in the center channel, you can effectively raise the level of vocals. So in middle or side EQ po, we can adjust frequencies in the center of a stereo track separately from the other side. So it will give you an additional control over stereo track and can even be used to isolate. And it is very useful technique po in mastering. So, next po, sir. So, this is the example of a middle or side mode. Next po, sir.
Nakikita nyo kung ilan yung ginamit nilang analyzer? Middle S. Middle. Side. Ayan, no? Nakikita nyo yan? Na-observe nyo, guys? So, paki-obserbahan muna natin. Ayan. So, nakikita naman natin yung ating graph here. So, ayan po. So, napapansin ninyo, mapatanong natin si ma'am, pantay ba yan? Sa tingin ninyo, guys, tingnan nyo. Pantay ba yan? Literal bang pantay yan? Di ba, ang sabi din natin, ang equalization daw dapat balance kasi EQ. Pero tingnan nyo, maigi. Come on, guys. Okay, observe. Na-meet ba nila lahat doon sa center? Nung yan? That's negative 30 decibel. Lahat ba yan ganyan? Lahat ba yan nasa negative 30 decibel? Yes or no? Di ba hindi?
No, sir.
No,
Oh.
sir.
Bakit
No po,
hindi?
sir.
Bakit hindi? Ano sa tingin ninyo? Ma'am, yan, Jenny? Bakit sa tingin mo hindi pantay?
Kasi may mga frequency din po na nag-boost or nag-cut.
Yan. So, kung bakit yun hindi ganyan pantay is because meron kayong ginalaw dyan or ganito talaga ang katotohanan. Hindi naman talaga part ng instrument yung frequency yun. For example, boses mo, maabot kaya ng boses mo yung 20 Hz, grabe naman, mamaw ka na, you're a monster. Hindi na maabot ng boses ng tao. Meron yan, world record, pero hindi niya talaga kayang. Kasi yung 20 Hz, guys, hindi na yan basta-basta naririnig. 20 Hz, baba niya nan. Nararamdaman, sa dibdib. Nakita nyo tong curve dito sa may part ng here. As you can see that, yan Hindi naman siya literally pantay, no? Hindi siya literally pantay. Okay, tapos pagdating dito sa baba, sa mataas na part, the sibilance area here, bumaba na rin siya. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Na-imagine nyo kung yung high frequency sobrang taas. Di ba sira tenga natin? Na-imagine niyo kung yung high frequency naka-boost. Tingnan nyo. Yung high frequency here, mapapansin nyo guys dyan. Na-imagine nyo kung naka-boost yan. Grabing sagit-sit gid kan maririnig ninyo, which is bad. Kung mapapansin nyo kapag may rain, you can hear that sound that's like parang noise, pink noise na rin siya. Ano napapansin nyo? Lalo na kung kambalin ninyo da kisame at kwansa na, simsa na kambalin ninyo. Ano? Masakit sa tenga? Ano
Yes,
napansin
sir.
ninyo?
Maribokal, sir.
So,
Maribok, sir.
pag umuulan, halos naririnig nyo yung lahat ng frequency. Masakit sa tenga. Kasi yung bagsak ng frequency, as actually, parang pantay lang siya. Parang peak noise nga na sinasabi ko. So, kapag ang isang instrumento tumapak, or let's say, nagbigay ng signal, hindi po siya pare-pareho. Okay, so kaya wag nating iisipin na porket nag-EQ tayo, ipapantay natin lahat. Iba, magandang tingnan pero hindi magandang pakinggan. Yun yung magandang tingnan pero pangit pakinggan. Importante yan sa atin ha. So let's proceed ma'am, tapusin na natin tong ating topic.
So last one, here are the few more things you can do using side channel equalization. So widen the stereo image, add a touch of high shelving at 8 kHz or higher. Then reduce muddiness and tighten up the overall sound. Add some low shelving at 200 Hz or lower. And then tighten up just the low end or reduce frequency below 75 Hz. And then add more definition to vocals. Make a slight cut in the 500 to 1000 Hz range. So that would be all po. And thank you very
Alright.
much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Jenny Rose.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, thank you very much, Ma'am. Ngayon, okay, etong pinakita sa ating kaninang graph ni Ma'am, okay? Mapatungkol to doon sa ano yan sa band. Okay, if we're going to check it out. Pwede nyo itong gamitin actually guys kung sa live performance kayo. Ano ibig sabihin na ito? Bawat speaker, iba-ibang EQ. High volume speaker, low, mid speaker, woofer, bass, and then the subwoofer speakers. So, for example, meron kayong 4 na uri ng speaker. Diyan makikita nyo dyan sa linya, 4 na uri yan ng band na tinimpla talaga po para yung lumabas na tunog is pleasing to the ear and so natural. So, the same rin po sa live situation. Gagamitin rin po natin yan para po hindi mag-agawan yung mga speakers ng kanilang frequency. Okay? So, mapapansin niyo ang speakers na nakikita nyo sa market, dalawa lang. Isang high driver, tapos sa baba yung woofer. So, purpose kasi noon, may isang driver for low frequency, may isang driver for high frequency. Okay? Pero normally po, okay, mas maganda po talagang ang speaker ninyo is 4 yung driver. Meron po tayo doon sa Twitter, meron tayong high, meron tayong low mid, meron tayong mid. Okay? Ang subwoofer for the low frequencies. So maganda yun kasi nababalanse talaga niya yung tunog. May mga ganung uri ngayon ng mga speakers na lumalabas sa market. Yun nga lang po, napakamahal. Napakamahal. Hindi siya hindi siya consumer friendly na presyo. Pero kung ikaw ay social, gusto mong ang ganda ng tunog mo. So remember sa sinihan, ganyan po ang pag-ayos ng sound system. Kasi po, sa sinihan, dapat lumabas yung talagang quality ng tunog ng pinapakinggan nyo or pinapanood ninyong pelikula. Okay, so thank you very much ulit, Ma'am Jenny and Ma'am Angela. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, madali na tayo matapos regarding sa ating topic ngayon, which is mastering. Ang susunod topic natin is about the final output, and that's rendering. So huwag kayong alis, we'll be right back.
Sige po.
Okay, so nagbabalik ang inyong host, AJ Kasensai, and time check, it's already 3:34 in the afternoon. So, matatapos na ating final topic, okay? And ito na po ang ating tinatawag na rendering. Okay, ito ang pinakang gustong-gusto ng mga producer. Dito po sila kinikilig. Dito sila kinikilig pag magre-render kasi pag naghang yung ano yan, pag naghang yung kanilang DEW, yari. Okay, anyway, ngayon, kasi napakabilis na po ng ating computer. So, rendering is not anymore a problem. It's just yung mga previous steps na dapat natin gawin. Pero mga panahon po, naku, pag rendering, kasi mababa pa yung ano yan, level ng computer, ano yan, speed. Medyo kinakabahan kami pag nag-rendering. Baka hindi matuloy. Okay? So, pero ngayon, so okay na yan. Awa ng Diyos, because of technology, we can do it right now at a home studio perspective or level. Okay? So, to discuss our final topic, we have Sir... Hindi ko na mahanap si Sir. Ayan, we have Sir Zyrus John Benitez. Sir, ikaw na po.
So, hello viewers, hello discussant, and hello sir. So, I am Sergeant Benitez and I'm the last discussant. So, my discussion is all about rendering. So the lesson objectives, learn the steps on how to do rendering in Reaper DAW, and to have a high quality resolution rendering suitable for audio mastering. So
Itong Reaper,
DAW rendering for high quality.
Itong Reaper, free yes or no?
Hindi po sir. Ano lang po, 60 days free trial.
Free trial.
After download.
Oo. Baka makahanap ka ng crack.
60 days.
Yan ang hinahanap ng mga din eh.
Lang po.
Hanapan natin ng crack. Mga pirata to mga to. Okay, anyway, let's proceed, sir. So, turuan natin. Okay, come on.
So, give you some short introduction about this computer software. So, Reaper is a complete digital audio production application for computer, offering a full multi-track audio and MIDI recording, editing, processing, and mixing, and its material toolset. So, let's proceed to the step 1. So, step 1, complete your mix first and make sure it is final before doing the rendering, because the if you are render the track or the audio that you make, or you're going to make a final output, because di ka naman pwedeng magana ng final output kung hindi pa siya tapos, di ba? Hindi pa siya complete or hindi pa siya final. So leave some headroom for mastering somewhere around -6 decibels to -3 decibel as maximum peak. So take note that this is the maximum peak from the start to the end of the song. So, and let's proceed to the step 2. So select the portion of the mix you would like to mix down, so from the start to the end of the song. So to do this, you need to left click and hold and drag with your mouse at the time area section. As you can see in the picture, yung nasa taas, yung nasa first waveform, which is yung may mga time doon, which is yun yung time area section. So to the last part of the song, so yun nga. So by dragging it, it will highlight the selection. So it will automatically highlight when you are dragging. So let's proceed to the step 3, I mean. So check what sample rate and bit depth you use during recording. So as you can see in the this upper right hand of the screen in Reaper, so yeah, di ba nakaset siya into for example, in the screenshot it shows that it is set to 24 bit and 48k hertz. So yun. So as assuming that kung ako ngayon ano ang sample rate na gagamitin ko. So for most music applications, so 44.1 kHz is the best sample rate to go for. So and 48 kHz is common when creating music or other audio for video. So higher sample rates can have advantages for professional music, for professional work. Yon. So the disadvantages naman pag when you are using higher you double your sample rates, so the file size is double then. So
Siyempre.
yon. Then yan. Then the higher sample rate, yun nga yung sinabi ni Sir kanina, if mataas yung sample rate, the higher the CPU cost. So, yun na nga, magko-cost na siya ng lag.
Ang kagandaan lang
it
neto,
may slow down your computer.
ang kagandaan lang neto is, kung gagamitin mo yung tugtog mo, no? Kung gagamitin mo yung production mo for cinematic effects, for filming, yan, taasan po yung sample rate. Kasi gagamitin rin po yan for high definition video. Pero kung ang purpose lang naman talaga ng video mo is purely for audio, for auditory purposes, for listening of music, ay wag na. Doon ka lang sa 24 or sa 41, di ba? 41, ano nga yan? Yan, 48 kilohertz.
4.1.
Yan. O 24-bit. Diyan ka na lang.
8 kilohertz.
Oh, huwag ka na doon sa mataas na sample rate. Nako, baka di mag-render. Di kaya ng computer. Kaya let's proceed, sir.
Yun po. So, and the other and another disadvantages, and some plugins and audio tools can't handle higher sample rates. Yun na nga, may mga kung ang audio tool hindi niya kayang i-handle yung higher sample rates. So yun, properly, and it could cause issues, guys.
Yep.
So yun.
So tatandaan rin natin,
let's proceed to
i-check muna natin yung computer natin. Kung ano ba yung kayang i-handle, di ba? Oo, kasi kahit gaano ka creative, kung hindi kaya nung gamit, ay nako po, yari ka dyan sa huli. Kaya so let's proceed, sir.
Kaboom. So let's proceed to the step 4. So yan. So after mo nang maano yung lahat ng procedure to the step 1, step 2, and step 3, pag na-check mo na siya lahat, if it is okay, so mag-move ka na sa step 4. So first, go to File and select Render. You will then see the Render File menu. So yun. So first, set the following. Render in master mix. So yun. So render bounds in time selection. File name, the desired file name of your mix down, make it descriptive such as your song title or / mixdown para madali mo siyang maano. Then the directory, this is where the rendered file will save. So yun, please take note of this because this is the most important the directory.
Bakit?
Yung
Nung naghahanap ka na ng file,
yes.
Putya, asan yung file ko dito? Pati ko mahanap. Tapos alam mo pala sunarapngan mo, ito pala ni kanakaputang sa documents. Importante talaga yung directory, no? Kabilin-bilin na yan ng ating mga teacher sa ICT. Gumawa po kayo ng directory file, storage or folder para di kayo hanap ng hanap kung kaipan nyo na. Kasi so minix ko, 3 beses ko na minix, ba't di ko mahanap? Kung saan mo na sa nakabinutang. Nakakaloka niya yung directory mo nasa recycle bin. Wala bang ganun? Wala namang ganun. Okay, let's proceed, sir. Okay?
So, let's proceed. Pag naano nyo na yan, na-check nyo na yan, so, move na tayo sa step 5. So, the step 5, next in the render to file. So, sa baba siya na part ng settings sa step 4. So, sa baba siya. So, next in the render file, you will need to define the sample rate, bit depth, etc. Requires for mix down, set the following. So, sample rate, so 'di ba yung kanina, yung sa step 3, which is 44k hertz, 48k hertz. So, i-multiply mo siya to 1,000, I think, yung formula. 1,000, yung formula niya. Yung yan, di ba yung 48k hertz, yun na, yung, it may result to 48 hertz. So, the channels is stereo. So, this is usually stereo since most audio for commercial music production are in stereo format. So, check the output format, which is wave. So, this is the common format, wave format. So, in the bit depth, which is yung kanina nga sa step 3, 24-bit yung nakaset doon. Kaya doon, 24-bit PCM. So leave other settings at default. So settings to full speed and resample mode to better. Yan.
Okay.
For better results. So next,
Step 6.
we go to step. Pag tapos nyo na naman yan, so proceed na kayo sa step 6, syempre. So, close all running programs in your computer except you're using except Reaper kasi yun yung ginagamit mo. Click the button render one file. This is start rendering the file into a single waveform. So, yun nga, dapat i-close mo yung running program kasi makonsumo siya sa sa gamit ng CPU pag nagre-render, nagre-rendering. So, yan, as you notice, yung ganyan yung yung nasa right na picture, yan ganyan ang ang procedure ng pag-render. Parang naglo-loading na ewan.
Okay.
Parang siya, waveform na maglo-load siya. So, yan. So, pag tapos niyo na yung step 6 and proceed na tayo sa step 7. So, step 7, save your mix with the changes and then go to file and close all projects. Load the rendered file in Reaper by going to insert media file. So, pag nagawa niyo na yung step 7, let's proceed to the step 8. So, yan. Step 8. Reconfirm the waveform statistic in Reaper by clicking FX button. Then, click OK. The values are still 0 because the audio is not played. So, hindi naman gagana yung kasi hindi man na-play yung video. So, yan, ganyan yung yung step 8. So, let's proceed to step 9, which is play the mix down or rendered file from the start to end. So, syempre, i-check mo kung tama ba yung paka-render mo ng file, and check mo na rin yung sound. And then you will get the statistic in some mastering engineers do require peak levels left and right to be within yun nga yung standard sa mga ang require ng mga master engineer is -6 decibels to -3 decibels. So so you make sure the rendered file stats is okay. So yan. So and this is the last part. You do not need to apply further compression, reverb, equalization, and other effects to the rendered or mixed down. Leave this to the master engineer because they are the experts on by handling that specific file, and you can save the final wave file and send that to your mastering engineer. Zip file is convenient and easy to transport. So a master engineer is the person skilled in the practice of taking audio, typically in a musical content. So, and that's all for my discussion. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you very much, Sir Cyrus John Benitez. Okay, maraming salamat, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, so pinakita ni sir kung paano po mag-render. Okay, yung ginamit niya is Reaper. Sabi ni sir, kung okay lang daw yung Reaper. Sabi ko, okay lang yan. Kahit anong DAW yan, basta gumagana. Okay? So, nakapag-try na ako ng Reaper, FL Studio, Pro Tools, Ableton Live. Yan yung mga ginagamit natin. Okay? Meron pa nga pong Cube Case. Okay, yun nga lang po. Ang mas preferred ko ngayong gamitin sa akin is yung FL Studio. Okay? Bakit? Gamayan lang yan. Tapos, tawag ba dito? Kung saan ka po mas friendly. Kung ano po yung mas user-friendly. Depende po yan sa inyo. Normally, yung talagang ginagamit ko for ano tawag ba dito? Producing a simple ano yan. Tawag ba dito? Production is pwede nating sabihin yung Adobe Audition. Okay? Kasi free yan. Mahilig kasi ako sa free. Walang bayad. Siyempre, mga Pilipino, manghilig sa free. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, to close this, ano yan, ang topic that we have today. Ang i-discuss ng ating mga discussants ngayong hapon is kung ano po yung mga dapat nating gawing steps one by one in mastering. Now, the very rule is pagkatapos mo pong mag-mix, kinakailangan po nating i-render yan. Okay? Yan yung diniscuss ni Sir. Pagkatapos po nating yang i-render, ibibigay po natin yan sa ating master engineer or sa ating master producer for mastering purposes na diniscuss natin kanina kung ano yung step. Sila na po magtatrabaho nun. Bakit? Ang trabaho ng master engineer is for consumer level. Not on the perspective of the producer. Yung para po sa masa, yung bibili ng music. Paano yan mabibili? Hindi nyo naman pinamaster. Kayo lang yung may trip ng tugtog. yung para sa yan, sa consumidores natin. Yung para sa para mabili. Kaya yun trabaho ng master engineer. Okay? So, dalawa ang kinakailangan na natin, ha? We have producer, we have the master engineer. Okay? Pagdating po sa audio production. So, akala kasi natin, pag producer ka lang, ikaw magpo-produce. Okay na yon. Oo. Ang nagkataon lang kasi, producer ka na, master engineer ka pa, pwede yan. Pero kung kinakailangan mong ibenta yung tugtog mo, for the sake na mas gumanda siya, and hire some master engineer. Yun po yung talaga dapat nating gawin. At sila na po yung magbibigay sa inyo ng final output as a producer, and then bahala ka na po niyang magbigay or let's say mag-distribute to different kinds of music platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, dito na po nagtatapos ang ating topic. Thank you very much sa ating mga discussant ngayong hapon. Okay, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. But before natin magbigay ng ating word of thanks, check muna natin itong ating tawag ba dyan? Comment section. Baka madaming nag-comments. Di ko lang kasi na-update eh. Tingnan natin. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here, ayan, so shoutout ulit kay paring Burns Abordo. Sir Darwin Carillo, shoutout sir. Kay Sir Makoy Pade, maraming salamat. Okay, sana all ko, no? And we have also Ma'am Stephanie Tolosa, ayan. So sa mga yan ninyo, member ng CSE. Okay, thank you very much. Okay? And sabi ni Sir Makoy, pwede ka na mag-request studio room into sa gymnasium, sir. Patapusan muna na to. Kausapin natin dyan, kapatid, si Sir Edsel. Ayan. So, si Sir Edsel po ang mamamahala dyan. So, kakausapin natin, sir. Importante po talaga na ang ating gymnasium ay meron pong monitor and studio room. Okay? Puwerte ito, built-in studio for gymnasium. Importante talaga yan. So, maraming salamat. And sa aking buting asawa, Ma'am Leia Marisang Larit Forsado. Good afternoon daw, sir. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, sa ating mga viewers ngayong hapon. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And I hope you learned something dito sa ating discussion. Our final topic for our course, ang audio production. Okay, so ang susunod natin dito, guys, is tutorial na. Di ba? Ito mas maganda. Isa-isa natin yung kung paano kayo magpuproduce. Di ba? So, maraming salamat sa ating mga producer. Ladies and gentlemen, dito na po nagtatapos ang ating usapan ngayong hapon. Maraming salamat sa ating mga viewers ulit. Okay? So, maraming salamat ulit sa inyo. Sir Burns, Sir Darwin Carillo, Sir Makoy Pade, Ma'am Stephanie Tolosa, okay, at sa aking butihing asawa, Ma'am Leia Sanglay, na nandyan po sa Kamaligbang right now. So, mag-out na naman ulit sila. Ingat po. Ingat kayo dyan. Okay? Maraming salamat sa ating mga viewers. And now, huling bati na po sa ating mga, ayan, nagsisipaganda at gwapong mga discussant. Ladies and gentlemen, okay? Huling bati po sa ating mga discussant. Okay? We have po her, Ma'am Maria Angela Madrigallas. Ma'am, bati ka po ulit. And shout out na.
So, thank you po sa lahat ng ating viewers. ngayong araw.
Okay? Thank you very much, Ma'am Angela Madrigal-Yejos. Okay? Maraming salamat, Ma'am. And Ma'am Jenny Rose Palencia. Word of thanks, Ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much po sa mga viewers, and then shout out sa BTLED po. Hello.
Alright, shoutout ulit sa ating mga BTLED 3B students. Maraming salamat, Ma'am. And Sir Mike Martiliana. Word of thanks, sir.
Maraming salamat sa mga viewers and nagsubaybay sa aming dito ngayon. Shoutout sa mga classmates ko dyan. Kumusta na kayo?
Oh, yaga. Na-miss na kayo ni Mike. Hilam. Yung momo chup-chup daw. Baka naman, pamay na. Comment down below, girls. Okay. Maraming salamat, Sir Mike Martiliana. And we have Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza, Ma'am. Word of thanks po.
So, good afternoon again, sir.
Shutdown.
Thank you po sa mga thank you po sa mga nakinig po sa aming discussion. Shout out sa mga BTLED 3B dyan. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza. Oh, yung may mga bata dyan kanina. Ayan, saan yung mga bata dyan? Ayan. Hello, baby. Hello. Hingi ka pa pambili ng merienda kay ate. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza. And of course, we have here Ma'am Riza Rose Anjoke. Ma'am, word of thanks po.
Thank you po sa lahat ng viewers and sa mga nakinig. So I hope you learn something from our discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Riza Rose Anjoke. And Sir Cyrus John Benitez, sir, word of thanks po.
So, shout out sa inyong lahat, sa mga nanood at sa mga sumabaybay sa aming live stream. So, mahal namin kayo.
Alright, thank you very much, Sir Cyrus John Benitez. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, ang ating mga discussion for today's topic, we have again, Ma'am Maria Angela Madrigal-Yejos, Ma'am Jenny Rose Palencia, Sir Mike Martiliana, Ma'am Mikey Zaragoza, Ma'am Riza Rose Anchoque, and Sir John Benitez. Sir John Cyrus Benitez. Okay? So, thank you very much po ulit sa ating mga discussant ngayong hapon. And I hope you learned something dito po sa aming final topic dito po sa audio production. Thank you very much. This is your host, Eji Casenta, naging mo sa katagang in this time of pandemic para matuto ng malupet. Tandaan palagi, di adet, bad mapakne. Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations and have a good day to all. Good afternoon. Maraming salamat po. Ingat palagi and God bless us all. Keep safe.
Bye, sir.